We're called to order the special meeting of council, and council would like to acknowledge the Ucluelet First Nations, of whose traditional territories the District of Ucluelet operates. And just a notice of video recording. Council would like to advise the District of Ucluelet staff and the members of the public that the council proceeding is being video recorded and that the recording will be live streamed or subsequently published on the District of Ucluelet's YouTube channel. Okay? Yeah, so.
I will move third reading of this bylaw, 1254, 2019.
Thank you. Is there a seconder?
I'll second that.
Okay. And any discussion? Who would like to start? Well, I can start if you guys, you guys have a little apprehension. So, all the applicants are here still, and I just really want to, but I'll stay focused on this one. I'll try to stay focused. Most people that know me, sometimes I try to stay focused. This is a really difficult decision. When you look at this particular application, I go back and looking at what is the clear benefit coming back to the community. When we're looking at this application, this is one of the first applications that's come before us. I think it's very early on, and I know it's legal and conforming provincially and federally, but I feel going down this tunnel here that there's a possibility we won't be able to vet other options. What are better options? There's community members that think that what is the big takeaway, and what are some things that the community gets out of this? I view it a big picture. We've had hearing a lot of great things here tonight, and I feel that in the current environment of the community, there may be some models that are available to us as a council and the community that have not presented to us yet. Reasons allowing cannabis retail sales cannot be based for me on convenience and tourism. This really needs to be a true fit and benefit the entire community, and I'm not getting that. It's up to the council to really find an applicant or a model that works for the community and not create a little bit of divide. I understand that it's legal, and I have that in mind, but we need to make sure that we have the best option that's presented to the community. I'm not saying no, that I'm not supportive of cannabis applications in this community, but I'm saying that there's other models that we don't know, and there's a lot of communities struggling with different models, and at this time I'm struggling with seeing this go to third reading, because I think there's going to be other models that are going to be available to this community, and that's my stance.
I will say that when we last met, and I spoke, and it's on the YouTube, and you can never take it back, and I stand by every word that I said in the past. That was my sort of sole approach to it, was all about the youth and the community and my perspective as a paramedic and in healthcare. Since then, in being in the community and speaking with literally hundreds, I'm not exaggerating, I lost count, around 250 something people in the community, I gained lots more information and approaches, and there is a definite pulse in the community that to wait, not for the reasons I'm waiting for the roadside screening device and I'm waiting for educational component, I'm waiting for all these things, I'm thinking of healthcare, but people want to wait for other reasons, reasons where we can find perhaps a bigger community give or asset or future. It's really early on, and everybody's screaming, just slow down, and not for my reasons. So it was great. I'm really glad that we actually got to take it back to here and have those weeks, or feels like months actually, I feel like that's all I've been talking about for months, but for weeks, to take it back, and gave me more time to talk to more people and actually ears wide open and did a lot more listening than talking. And I feel even, I'd say 3 times, and I don't like to exaggerate, so I literally mean 3 times, more than twice, over comfortable with the fact that I'm not comfortable with the application at this time. And I know it's coming, and I know that we need to do it right, and we need to take our time and just wait and see some successes and follow some models that actually work for communities like ours. And this is where we live, and it's not about the tourists that come here that are looking for a store to buy it at, because there's many places along the way to get it. You're legal to have it with you. So it's about the people who live here, and the people who will continue to live here, and the people who are raising their families here. And yeah, enough said.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Kemps?
I want to thank Andrew for his application, and I've listened to the community and I've read all the correspondence, and I want to be very clear that I support retail sales in our community. However, there's always a however, I want to make sure it's the right benefit for our community at this time. I feel that we need to just step back a little bit and take some time, and there's some social procurement pieces that we could add to it, living wages, something to benefit our community members. So when you walk in, you know that those people, those community members that make a living wage, they have benefits, they give back to their community, they volunteer for our community, they're part of our community. And I just am not ready at this time, even though I support it, but I think we just need to take a step back. Thank you.
Councillor Wicker?
I don't think, as a councillor, my job is to tell a business person what business they can or cannot open. However, land use decisions are what this council is here to provide for the community. And so the 2 questions I've asked myself are, is this applicant one of the best people to take this on, and is the location the best location? And I think Mr. Hansen is far ahead of the other 2 applicants with his preliminary Liquor Control Board stuff that he had to go through to get approved. And I like the fact that his location is off the main drag. There would be some signage directing people around back, but it isn't front and center on the main drag as people come into town. So there is a little bit of privacy to that, and so for that reason, I do support that application.
Thank you. And Councillor Hort?
I agree. All right, let's magnify my voice. I agree that it was nice to have extra weeks to listen to what the community had to say, because I feel that the decision, and it is a zoning decision, it is a land use decision, has to be based on the best things for the community. What does the community gain? And from reading a lot of the correspondence, from talking to people, I am hearing a lot of public feelings about, are we ready? Is this town ready? There is currently substance abuse issues on this coast. We don't have a single substance use counselor on this coast. And I worry about introducing another controlled substance. Yes, I know it's here. Yes, I know people are buying it on the street. But to quote Dr. Marshall in her correspondence, public health research on substance use consistently shows that increasing accessibility increases problematic use, and that problematic use disproportionately affects our most vulnerable members. I worry about those most vulnerable members, and there are a lot of them in the community. With regards to this particular application and this particular location, I have heard more negative aspects about it because of its backing onto Larch Road, which is a major thoroughfare for our children to and from school, for our seniors to and from the co-op, the post office. And so I am not comfortable with this location.
Okay. So we've all answered it, so I'll just call this to question. All in favor to be given the third reading? Opposed? Okay, so it's been defeated. Thank you. To 6.2, District of Ucluelet Zoning Amendment Bylaw Number 1257, 2019, third reading.
Point of order, Mr.
Oh.
Mayor. Sorry, so we still have the other motions that were in that report to refer to. Motion number 2, because it was defeated, doesn't need to be moved.
Okay,
unless-
sorry,
But number 3 needs to be addressed.
Thank you. Okay. Would someone want to move that?
I will move that the Council of the District of Ucluelet, having gathered residents' views in a public hearing, indicate that it would be prepared to pass a resolution of support for the province to issue a cannabis retail sales license to the applicant, Andrew Hansen, of 1181569 BC Limited, doing business as Ucluelet Cannabis Company, with the requested hours of 9 a.m. to 11 p.m., 7 days a week, subject to adoption of a zoning amendment bylaw to permit cannabis retail sales on the property at 1786 Peninsula Road.
Is there a seconder?
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Opposed? Defeated. Okay. Thank you for pointing that out, Mr. Boyson. 6.2, District of Ucluelet Zoning Amendment Bylaw Number 1257, 2019, third reading, and council comment on the provincial cannabis retail sales license, 1685 Peninsula Road, Green Leaves Cannabis. So can someone there's a motion, number 1?
That the District of Ucluelet Zoning Amendment Bylaw Number 1257, 2019 be given third reading.
Okay, any discussion? I think we've all, is there anything different you'd like to say? Councillor Kemps?
I would just say I've listened to the community again, and I want to be clear that I do support cannabis retail sales. However, I do not support this zoning at this time. I just don't care for it being the first thing as you see coming into town.
That's not that. This is
that's the other one.
This is
Sorry,
behind
that's
Barry's
my
Drugs.
fault. That's my fault. The same thing applies to what I said. I think we just need to look at a social procurement piece before we make any decision at this time.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else like to make a comment?
This was probably my favorite location of the 3 applicants because it is slightly off the main drag but still centrally located, and because it is a controlled substance, the best applicant would be someone who has experience dealing with controlled substances, and a pharmacist would be that person. So yeah, I would be willing to support this third reading.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Cole, did you want to say anything?
I do also agree that the location of the 3 would be my preferred. However, my previous statements of communications I've had with the community stands, and I won't be supporting this application for this location.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
Just want to say one more thing, because I apologize for the mix-up on that. I was reading something else. I apologize. But again, I do support this location, just as it's in the main part of town and just where it's located. I'd support this.
Councillor Hoare, did you want to say something?
of the 3 locations, if I had to choose one, I prefer this one. That being said, I don't think we're ready.
Okay, thank you. And I'm going to go back to the fact is there's a large social procurement issue that we haven't taught, and we know there's a big focus on the guidelines, which we talked about distances from parks and schools and everything else, and there was just no clear commitment on the social procurement part going back to the community. So as I said in the previous application, I would not be in favor of third reading of this one. So I'm going to call that to question. All in favor of a third reading? Opposed? Defeated? And if someone would read out number 3, I believe, again.
I'm going to move motion number 3, that the Council of the District of Ucluelet, having gathered residents' views in a public hearing, indicate that it would be prepared to pass a resolution of support for the province to issue a cannabis retail sales license to the applicant. And I'm reading the wrong one again. Why am I wrong?
Page 9.
How do you spell it? Pronounce the name? Deepchait Seja. Subject to confirmation the province has issued fit and proper approval of Seja of 1193126 BC Limited, DBA Green Leafs Cannabis, with the requested hours of 9 a.m. to 11 p.m., 7 days per week, subject to A, confirmation that the province has issued fit and proper approval in principle for a cannabis resale sales license, and B, adoption of a zoning amendment bylaw to permit cannabis retail sales on the property at 1685 Peninsula Road.
Okay, great. And is there a seconder?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Defeated? Okay, thank you. And we're off to 6.3, District of... this one here, I'm going to be excusing myself just due to a conflict of interest with my brother-in-law is the owner of that building, so thank you.
Uh, 6.3, District of Ucluelet Zoning Amendment Bylaw number 1255, 2019, third reading. Do I have anybody wanting to?
I'll move third reading. I'll move that the District of Ucluelet Zoning Amendment Bylaw number 1255, 2019 be given third reading.
Any conversation?
I have to say that of the 3 applicants, this one I am also not in favor of, because the location is at the beginning of town. It's one of the first things you see when you come into this town, and I don't think that that is what I would like to see coming into my community.
Of all the applicants, this one had the most letters of support. Not all of them are residents of Ucluelet, but there was a high volume of support, which leads me to believe that we're not that far away from actually having a legal cannabis dispensary in Ucluelet, but clearly there is some hesitation to move forward that quickly, so I would not be supporting this one.
And I'm the same as Jennifer. The location at the beginning of town, I would not support this application. So I'm going to call the question. Those in favor of the amendment of the bylaw? Do I say the bylaw and everything? Bylaw number 1255, 2019. Oh, all in favor? Opposed? Okay, defeated. And then number 3, if somebody wants to move number 3.
I will move that the Council of the District of Ucluelet, having gathered residents' views in a public hearing, indicate that it would be prepared to pass a resolution of support for the province to issue a cannabis retail sales license to the applicant Charles Phillip of Platinum Cannabis Limited, subject to A, confirmation that the province has issued fit and proper approval in principle for a cannabis retail sales license, and B, adoption of a zoning amendment bylaw to permit cannabis retail sales on the property at 1972 Peninsula Road.
Second.
Any conversation? Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. Defeated. Defeated. Okay, Mako can come back in. Does somebody want to grab Mako?
Okay, so question period. Opportunity. Question period. It is on. There we go. Sorry. It's question period for the third time. Okay. Hearing none, we're adjourned. Thank you.